working through the night trying to keep my eyes open. The generator's busted and the AC's broken. I'm talking to the Lord, hope he helps us get there safe. And we made it to the show, now we're singing to the crowd and playing.
A lot of big fans of this car, and it's time to throw this thing back together. We've got an event less than a month away. As you can see, the engine is out. Got it hanging right there. Interior and everything is still good. Spot's still riding in the back. I'm making any changes but freshening this thing up. And a fresh paint job on the engine. So we're gonna bring this thing in and throw this engine in. And then as I'm doing that, Ryan is working on this car that my uncle was driving last year. Putting TBM brakes on it. And then we're doing TBMs on the rear, which snowballed into putting a 6-link kit on it. So when it breaks half shaft, doesn't do anything crazy. And new trailing arms, and then new brakes on the rear of this thing, because at some point it'll get an engine like this. I want to go, yeah, I want to go down to Cricket. I just got to go in the tranny first.
Okay. You don't know.
All right there.
I'm on this side. Right there.
Engine is in this thing. We got to go up in there and finish up the bottom, like the converter bolts and the exhaust. But as you can see, sitting pretty in here. Everything is looking fresh. Haven't made many changes to this thing. Makes just about the same power as it did before. And do want to say, I thought this thing was so wore out that it was slowing down. Because remember, if you guys watched our videos last year, toward the end of the season, I would turn my vacuum pump off. It would make funky noises, or I would shut the car off and it would make weird noises. Oops. I don't know how long this was like this, but this vacuum hose right there, that goes to my vacuum pump, that's right there, came unhooked and I never even noticed it. So, vacuum pump's worth about 20 horsepower. And I would flip the vacuum pump on, run the car down the racetrack, turn the vacuum pump off, and it wouldn't do absolutely anything. That's why the car slowed down. It probably should have went 9.0s last year at the end of the season, and it struggled. I think it went a 9.15, maybe 9.18, something like that. At the last event with no vacuum pump. I mean, that's 20 horsepower. So yeah, that's one change we're going to make this year, is make sure that the thing does not come unhooked. The bad thing is I've got it hidden so well that you couldn't see it. I dug it out, but usually you can't even see that hose. And then I did notice I had a little bit of a leak. This is where the vacuum pump goes into. And I noticed I had a little leak here, so I put these big old zip ties on there to try to seal this hose in here, and the wires hide it nicely. But that's just about it. We are making some adjustments to the front shocks. I've got shocks down at my buddy Derek's. He is revolving them, hopefully, actually, as we speak right now, probably. So we're gonna finish buttoning this thing up, and I doubt we'll even dyno it, but we're gonna finish buttoning it up and get her fired up. Whine had the rear end in this thing. He's got to pull it back out because with the 6-link kit, you got to take the C-clips out of the rear end so the axles float, and he did not do that. So that's got to come totally apart again. I'll explain this real quick for everybody that thinks the 6-link kit is a cheater or a traction item. Basically, you have 3 links, this one, and this one. Without this top one, if this thing ever breaks a half shaft, the car goes way out of whack. I'll throw a video in here of the black car doing crazy things when it breaks a half shaft. This is actually mandatory for NHRA to run a IRS, Corvette, and stock have to have a 6-link. So basically what it does is it gets rid of this being a major component of the suspension, and now this just floats in there, which is why we got to have the axles floating. And this is the suspension point, because as you can see, there's nothing. The only thing that holds this trailing arm in is one bolt up there. So it actually swivels around the half shaft, and then the lower bar, these two, on a factory Corvette is what keeps this thing from doing this. Well, like I said, when you break a half shaft, it twists like that, the thing goes all over the place. So that upper link is to keep it from doing that. Now, these lower links are moved up on this part right here. That keeps it from cambering out. Nope, that keeps it from cambering in as you launch it. But all you have to do that with a factory Corvette is lower this bracket 1 inch. I don't know if there's one laying around here. Yep, this one right here. See how this bracket is? You put a spacer in between here, a 1 inch spacer, or like on my dad's black car, you just cut this off and you lower it 1 inch, and that fixes the camber issue that these things have. So those of you people that say we are at an advantage running 6 links, it is absolutely no advantage over stock suspension. It's just a safety item. I've got the 6-link on that. We've got it on a couple other cars. We don't have it on the black car, and we don't have it on my mom's silver car, which is something we should do. Sometimes I try to get creative, and I made this belly pan for this thing, and it didn't pick up anything. Did not go a lick faster. My idea was all the air coming off the back of this was just getting caught up in here, and this was acting kind of like a parachute and just slowing the car down. No, not the case. So, because I gained absolutely nothing from this. So I'm gonna remove this because 1, it was a pain to strap the car down, and 2, I've got a valve in here that I need to put a valve in here to drain the fuel tank. Put a fuel drain on the tank, something I've been wanting to do to this thing for 2 years now, going on 3 since we built this thing. And now it finally has a fuel drain because we run Q16 at the racetrack. That stuff's hard on carburetor parts because it's oxygenated. So we put like C16 in it for just driving around and sitting. Now, instead of draining the tank up front and using the fuel pump, we can just drain it right here. Mount it with some fancy zip ties right there. She ain't going nowhere. So, get it off the jack stands, and this thing is 100% ready to go to our first event. Alright, I told you we weren't going to dyno the 67, and right now we're putting on the dyno. explain why here in a little bit. This car is all together. We've got to align the rear suspension, which we adjust the camber with the upper and lower camber rods, and then toe will be right here with these shims. That's how you align these Corvettes, and it's a huge pain. But yeah, that thing's almost ready. All we gotta do to this is put a battery in it. The thing is cranking slow, and she's had a hard time starting it the last couple of events, and we think it's a bad battery. So we gotta do that, and then this thing is on the dyno. Only reason is it's got engine dyno jets in it, and once we put these things in the car, close the hood, only getting a little bit of air through right there, and it's got a filter on it and the air cleaner instead of just pumping fresh air into it in the dyno room. So usually it's about 6 or 7 jets smaller. We went with a different stagger on the carburetor because when it's on the engine dyno, they have O2 sensors that they put in every cylinder. And then we stagger jet them to try to get all the cylinders to the right air fuel ratio. That way we're not burning up cylinders and kicking head gaskets because one cylinder is leaner than the other. So it's already staggered, which I'll show you right here. Show the top secret formula. Just kidding, that's just what this thing wants. They're all different. So it's got 89s in the back right now. It's got a 92 and an 89, so it's not too far off. Before it had a 79, an 81, an 82, and an 87. That's what we ran in this thing for 2 years because I never did need to jet this thing. So I'm just gonna make a quick pull at what it's got in it now. It'll be really, really fat. And then probably lean it down 4 or so at first. And then go from there. 4 usually gets us about a point. All right, we got this thing warmed up, and I just showed you guys a secret. Let's keep that fan thing a secret between me and the people who actually watch the YouTube channel. All the people who bitch about this car anyways would bitch even more about that, even though it fits all the rules. I've been doing that since I put the Camaro together back in 2020, I think. Camaro's way more creative than this is. Last time it was on the dyno, it made a whopping 696 horsepower. That was when we did the intake test. It's not fat, it's oil. 12.7.
Well, you have that other intake on here, and we made a couple of pulls. I'm just hoping the exhaust is, that was black smoke when you were hitting it.
12.7, I mean, it's not fat.
How can it come off the dyno and go in here and not be, I don't, it doesn't make any sense.
I think it's sucking oil into that intake again. It says that we were a 12.7. It can't be right. Not only can the number not be right, this purple line right here is the air fuel, and it's never that flat. It's always got some sort of like jaggedness to it. I think we got an issue with that air fuel sensor. There's no way that should be right. It's smoking a bunch. It smells like oil. I think this intake's still burning oil. My dad says it was black smoke. which means it's fat. So yeah, I'm gonna try to find a couple O2 sensors to run this thing. What a difference O2 sensors make. Yeah, as you saw, that was 11.0. Basically right on what we guessed. We're gonna need to go 6, because 4 will get us to 12.0. We want to run around 12.5. So yeah, definitely needs 6 sizes smaller jets in it. As you can see under the car, we've got one lane over there. That one I put on both sides. It's got O2 sensors on both sides. That one's junk. These two that were in the car are junk. I went and got these. These were our spares. Actually, that was our spare in the trailer. These were our spares in the shop. And they read good. One thing that I did notice that is really cool, I haven't even pulled the log yet because my computer's dead and I can't find the charger. Really close to being dead on each other. Whereas for 2 years, these O2 sensors were so far from each other that I had to turn one off of the display because I want to say it was really lean or really fat, one of them. I mean, it was way out in left field. Balancing the cylinders and messing with the squaring on the carburetor definitely is going to help this thing. We ended up with 726, about a 12.7 air fuel ratio on both sides, which, like I just said, I can't believe how close those are, right to left air fuel ratios than they were. I turned off one of the O2 sensors because they were just so far off and I didn't know which one to trust. So I'm glad that those actually match up now, and this thing is going to be so much happier. It's not lean on a couple cylinders. It was lean on a couple cylinders. I'm just happy that it never hurt itself. So I'm gonna get this thing off the dyno and get it cleaned up, and next time you see it, it'll be at the racetrack. Going to US 131 Motorsports Park, May 9th and 10th for the Dust Off drag race. There's gonna be fast cars there, factory stock and modern muscle, everything at our spring race that we do. And then we're adding classes like open comp, 1010 index, 860 index, Coyote stock, small tire, which I'm going to try to put a cart together for small tire, big tire, and then like a test and tune. I'm sure I'm missing a class, but those are just off the top of my head. Should be a pretty big event. Hoping to have a good turnout. We've been super busy in the shop. My grandpa's been making progress on this thing. You guys haven't seen this yet. It's got an all aluminum ZL1 motor in it. It's all covered up because we had to cut the dash out of it, but that's what's been keeping him busy. I've been working a little bit on the race car. Got a couple tubes laid in there, but it's just been so busy. And then not only are we busy in the garage, we've got regular jobs too. We've been super busy doing that. It'll actually be nice to get to the racetrack and get a little bit of a break. We always like going racing because we get to rest a little bit. But it's gonna be it for right now. Next time you see this car and those two in there, we'll be at the racetrack. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.